Welcome back to Straight Facts with Lee Gunner and myself, Terry Flewers. Declan Rice, the third bid incoming from Arsenal, is expected to go over £100 million. We're talking about that. Man City's pursuit. Could United be getting involved as well? As, of course, their trading accounts come out and prove again that Man United have a lot more money than the media were telling us they have. We're looking at Urian Timber. The agreement is there, almost over the line now between the two football clubs. Harry Kane, is he on his way to Bayern Munich? Big claims from Germany that he has agreed personal terms with Bayern Munich today, as if their first bid has been rejected. More on that to come. We're going to touch a little bit on Maddison as well, on his way to Tottenham, of all places. I did not think he'd be going there this summer. Also having a look at Man United on the Mount deal and the meltdown from Man United fans about David De Gea's new deal. But first and foremost, Lee, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm sitting pretty in pink. It's not pink, it's blush. But no, I'm good, man. I'm good. It's 32 degrees. What more could I want? It's nice and sunny. I'm talking to you for an hour and a half. We're gonna let each other finish this week. Let me talk. And it's gonna be great. We're gonna have loads of people calling us out in the chat. I'm here for it.
And we've got some great clips to play as well on the show. So we've got loads action-packed show on the way. So stay with us. Big shout out from me to everyone that signed up and put the bell notifications on the YouTube videos. Nearly 1,000 of you have done it in the last few days, which is amazing. If you haven't done it yet, get it done right now. It's imperative so you don't miss any of the content. I wanted to start with Man United, if possible, though, because today, Lee, I'm watching Man United fans have colossal meltdowns. David De Gea was offered a new deal, as we spoke about for many weeks on the show, that was a reduction in his current salary of $375 a week. It was a reduction of about $100,000 a week and a small extension around 2 years. And they told him that we may be looking to replace you as number one. That deal has now been confirmed as being pulled from David De Gea. He's been offered another new deal, which is even less money, and has been categorically told that he won't be seen as a number one. United are looking hard at a new goalkeeper. And Man United fans online are outraged. They think it's unprofessional. They think it makes the club look bad. They think it's poor management. They think it looks, unprofessional. What's your thoughts on us pulling that deal after David De Gea has entered the season and saying, actually, that was a mistake. If you're going to stay, you're going to be back up and you're going to be on considerably less money. What's your take on it, mate?
Good move by the manager. He's realised he's messed up. He's realised, that David De Gea is not the keeper that he thought he was. The last 3 months of the season, he literally gifted goals after goals after goals. Look at the game against Sevilla. What is he doing? That was just ridiculous. But he's done it in like bursts all season. Like, what game was it? Was it the Man City game? Or maybe that was last season. Can't remember. I think it was this season. One of them near post goals.
There's been so many.
Yeah. That guy has fallen off a cliff for the last 2 years. And the fact that he wanted to keep him and he wanted him to stay and all of that and give him like the number one spot next season and all that. But the fact that he's now realised, actually, yeah, you could cost me my job. Yeah, and that's what he's thinking about. It's like, you could stay here for the next 10 years on top dollar. But if I don't get the results, I'm getting sacked. So now he's got to make tough decisions. And listen, football's ruthless. Yeah, all the people that want to moan and get emotionally attached to footballers, well, they couldn't care less about you, number one. And number two, they ain't going to be here in 10, 15 years' time. So, David De Gea could stay for the next 7, 8, 9, 10 years. But then after that, he's leaving. Do you think he's going to come back and go and shake hands with all the Man United fans that have been cheering for him? Of course he ain't. He couldn't care less about United. Yeah, he likes the exposure of playing for Man United and he likes the 375 grand a week. That's it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure if Saudi come in and offer him 375 grand a week, he's going to Saudi. Yeah, none of them have got any loyalty. Yeah, and at the end of the day, they're all overpaid. Every single one of these footballers, pretty much, barring maybe a handful, are overpaid. They are. Let's be real. Most of them are crap. They're not as good as they were back in the 90s or early 2000s. And they're nicking a living. And the fact that the managers realised, actually, if I keep this geezer in goal, I could be sacked real quick if he continues on the same level that he finished that season on. So fair play from the manager, isn't it?
it's funny because there's a tweet that someone's sent me, and I want to read what it says because I think it's really important. You know, I like listening to people's opinions. I just responded to him in nope because I'm live. But somebody said to me that I called this out and said this is brilliant. This is the ruthlessness we need. Man United need to move forward as a team, and we cannot do it with David De Gea in goal. We cannot progress. Yes, he got 18 clean sheets last season. Yes, he is still a good and at times a world-class shot stopper, but too many mistakes in goal and terrible with his feet. He has waned, he has declined, he has regressed as a footballer. So we need to do that. Somebody said to me that I have no principles because we've pulled the deal and offering him a worse one. There's better ways to offload a player.
How?
My view is this. Ten Hag has clearly changed his mind. The mistake isn't that we offered him the wrong renewal. The mistake would be following through with the wrong offer, the wrong terms, the wrong salary, if we know we've made a mistake. That would be the catastrophic error for the team to go, yeah, look, we'll keep him on 250 a week and as the number one. If you've realized, you know what, our assessment was wrong. United have got to get out here because they haven't signed the deal. De Gea has signed it, but we pulled it away. The principle should be to make Man United the best football team on the pitch, the best football club possible. And that means moving David De Gea on. Somebody then turned around to me and said, and also, I'll point this out. This is a multi-millionaire footballer. This isn't a single parent on a living wage who needs this money. This is a multi-millionaire footballer with no worries in the world financially. Outside of finances, of course, they have the same problems that nearly everybody has. But financially, no issues at all. Somebody here said to me, agree they're not single parents on living wage, but it speaks of poor management that has often made in the first place. A man who has given the best years of his career to your club should not be yo-yoed like this.
Or did he give the best years to the club for free then?
Well, but this is it. Exactly.
Has he not been getting paid 18, 20 million a year?
I love David De Gea. I love what he's done for us. I'm not someone that dislikes him. But he did try to leave the club twice, and it didn't go through because Real Madrid pulled out, not us. Okay, so first and foremost, let's not get into a debate about loyalty when it comes to David De Gea. He has given us the best years of his career, and that's the point. The best years of his career are now behind him, and we need to move on. But equally, you could argue, I understand, yeah, we've made a mistake by offering him that first deal. But the bigger mistake would be to follow through with it based on some misguided sense of loyalty and principle. That would be a bigger mistake than saying, actually, we're pulling that. We want you to stay. We don't mind you being... Because listen, as a number two, what a great number two David De Gea is, sitting on the bench. He's better than most. Like, you've got to think, some clubs have, like, backup goalkeepers like Scott Carson. Like, maybe a third choice.
We got Matt Turner.
But there we go. So he's a very good second choice. I don't think he'll do it. I think he'll then leave and move on. Saudi are looking at him. I'm sure some other European clubs will get involved. But
this is the thing, Tony, right? This is the thing, yeah. Why do people get emotionally attached to these players? Yeah, it makes no sense whatsoever. It's Man United Football Club you support. Most of these people started supporting Man United Football Club before David De Gea played for Man United Football Club. So it makes no sense. And I'll give another example. The people talking about principles. I've seen a few in the chat. You two have got no principles. Mate, neither of these football clubs. Yeah, they can just rip up and terminate contracts left, right, and centre. They've done it with Ronaldo. Yeah, my club's done it with 6 players in January. What, did they care about principles when they ripped up Kolasinac contract or Mustafi's?
And on top of that, the players don't have principles. Where is Ruben Neves' principles to Wolves that gave him his Premier League career now that he's going off to Saudi to earn more money?
Exactly.
This is the thing. Players are not loyal. Clubs are not loyal. They do what is best for them. They do what they want.
Same with the agents as well.
The only loyal people, generally speaking, at football clubs are the fans because we're the only ones, typically speaking. Of course, there are some players. I believe Gary Neville loves Manchester United. I believe Fergie loves Manchester United. But at the same time, most people, it's a job. It's their profession. You know, KJ does a lot of work now with professional footballers. And I'm not going to reveal what he tells me, but the way some of these footballers view fan opinions towards them is they find fans very warped. Because they're like, yo, this is just a job to me, as opposed to me, like I'm dedicated.
That's why they don't interact. That's why they don't interact. It's a chore to them.
No, it can be.
They don't want to get involved with the fans. But when they do an interview, a PR interview, oh yeah, thanks for the fans. They really pushed us through it. Like, come on, mate. How many times, Terry, do you see footballers getting off the same bus with their headphones on, their phone in their hand, not even looking at the fans that have waited 3 hours for him?
The thing for me is, and I totally get that. This here says that the amount of disrespect De Gea gets, I'm not disrespecting him. This isn't about David De Gea. So you're missing the point here, my friend. You're getting emotional about the player. I'm emotional about Manchester United. We cannot be, if we can renew him and keep him as a backup on 100 grand a week, that saves us over £250,000 a week. That saves us, what is that? 5 million. Sorry, more than that. That's what's that? £1 million a month. That's about £12 million a year. That £12 million a year can be used to sign players that are going to take us forward as a football club. Yes, it's not the greatest optics, but at the end of the day, if this was happening at another club, no one ever cares about optics when you might be able to get Frankie de Jong because Barca have mismanaged their finances for years. You might be able to get Onana for this reason. You might be able to get this player. When a player at a rival club is forcing a move out, like Mason Mount is doing, Man United fans who want Mason Mount are like, yeah, go on, Mason, get it done. At the end of the day, we only care about principles when it hurts our feelings or we're scared of getting a bit of banter online. For me, the principles are right here by Man United. The ruthlessness is correct. I love what David De Gea has done for us, but he is so far past his best. The role of a goalkeeper has changed, and Man United need an Onana. We need a Costa. We need a Magic Mike to come in and take our football to the next level. And if we rest, if we don't, we're in trouble.
I was going to say the easiest way to sum it up: is there a better goalkeeper on the planet than David De Gea? If so, go and sign him. Like what? You're still going to be having this David De Gea love affair when he's 52 and still trying to kick the ball out of defence. Like,
mate,
everything comes to an end, mate.
This is it, 110%. Obar here says I wasn't talking about you. Fair enough then, my friend. Sorry if I misinterpreted that. I appreciate that. United fans protest got the club shop closed on the kit launch today. Liverpool game postponed, rushing the pitch, and this today. At least we actually have some balls. Look, I'm going to say this about the protest again. But no, on a real one, fair play to everybody that went. I listened that one of the guys that's DM'd me from that group that I actually did an interview on television or for one of the papers, and I saw it, and I understand what they're doing. At the same time, it's a drop in the ocean because anyone who didn't buy the kit from the megastore today will go and buy the kit from the megastore tomorrow. Most of the people that were there protesting are season ticket holders, and they have a sign that they held up that said, "Don't feed the Glazer greed." And the irony in that is that they will all be renewing their season tickets and feeding that Glazer greed if the takeover doesn't happen, of course. And I know that the typical response will be, but if I don't go, somebody else will. Yes, but you're telling people to not feed the greed. So the very least you could do, if you're holding up a sign, is not feed the greed. And this is what I say all along. If you want to buy kits, buy Man United kits. I don't care. If you want to go to games, go to games. I don't care. But don't hold a sign up telling other people what to do when you're doing it. I don't give the Glazers any of my money. I don't give a single penny directly to Man United or to any of our sponsors. I don't in any capacity. And I won't do that. So I've got a principled stance on this subject to say, well, I think you shouldn't either. But you can't say don't feed the greed and then renew a season ticket. But I know why you are not cancelling your season ticket. And there's no harm in it. It's because you know if you cancel it, you may not get it back for 1 year, 5 year, 10 years, ever.
Yeah, but we used to have this at Arsenal.
But on the real, but this is their fear. It doesn't mean it will happen. But their fear is if I get rid of it and can't get it back, and then the Glazers leave, then I'm not in the ground and I don't want to give that up. And I respect that. But don't tell people to not buy a kit and to pull their money away if you're not willing to do it yourself. That's my only ask of these people.
Facts, mate. We get it. We had it with Cronky out all the time. And what I want to say about that protest, right? Where's all the millions of people that sit online every day saying Glazers out? Why didn't they turn up today? There was about 40 people there.
Because it's easy.
There was more people in the restaurant I went to the other night than there was outside Old Trafford. But nobody was tweeting about the restaurant. Yeah, everyone tweets about Glazers out, Glazers out, Glazers out. Why weren't none of them there? We had this with the Cronkies. Everyone wants to waffle about Cronky out, Cronky out, Cronky out. And then Turkish just stood there with 7 other people. Yeah, it's all to get traction on the internet. Yeah, and the ones that actually go and do it then get made to look a laughing stock.
I will say this. The guys that went there today, and there may have been some women there. I've only seen pictures of men, to be fair. Fair play to them. They're doing what they believe in. My only...
Are you assuming their gender, Terry?
No, I am assuming that. I'm very sorry. It's the beard really that gave it away. You never know. You never know. But for me, it's a case of I respect what they're doing. I respect their effort. Of course I do. My only ask is don't tell people to not spend their money if you're spending your money. Because for me, any message you put out, and it's in a footballing sense, it's political. If you're conducting an action or have a behavior which is equal to that, what you're telling people not to do, no one listens. If you're a celebrity saying, please reduce your carbon footprint, but you are flying in 150 private jets per year on yachts and driving supercars with huge fuel consumption and going to Las Vegas regularly, which pumps out all them lights, no one listens to you or takes you seriously because you're not living that life. You're not. Do you understand where I'm coming from? You've got to at least practice what you preach. You know, there's this woman I used to work with, and she was a very big eco warrior and climate change activist. And legitimately, she had even her shoot, you saw her dressed in her normal clothes. I was like, where'd you get your clothes from? I didn't ask her because it looked bad. It did look bad, by the way. But I asked her because I've never seen clothes like it. But I had so much respect for her answer. Basically, everything she wore was made either recycled or made from recycled products or was kind of made knitted together, but made in a way that was reducing carbon footprint. And I thought, you know what? It looks terrible. I wouldn't wear it, but I had respect for her because she was living her life how she preached people should live. Does that make sense? She wasn't saying, down with this, but going out and buying a pair of Levi jeans. She was practicing what she preaches. That's my only ask of Man United fans. The reason that the Sky Sports and the Talk Sports belittle what we do is because we say all these things, but our actions are the complete opposite. And until your actions match that of your demands, nobody takes what you say seriously. And that's my problem with it. But fair play for them for turning up and having their say today. I also want to ask you about Mason Mount. Back to the football for a minute here. It says here that Chelsea and Man United are prepared for direct contact this week to make a final decision. Man United are not going to increase their £55 million bid. They're leaving it on the table, but will walk. But Man United are briefing they will walk away on this deal. United looking like they might be a little ruthless here again, Lee.
Yeah, man, it's looking that way, but I don't see many Man United fans happy with Mason Mount.
I hear you on that.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, do you know what though? I think he gets a lot of stick. Yeah, he's not great. Let's be real. He's not amazing, but he's played 6 positions this season. He played false 9 under Potter at one point. Just play him at number 8. Yeah, if you play him at number 8, he's a decent player. Yeah, and I think he'll do all right at Man United. Yeah, I think he will get him as well. I think Chelsea need the money to balance the books. They've just got rid of Loftus-Cheek today as well for about 12, 15 million, something like that, plus add-ons. So there's more money. They've got rid of 5-6 players already. They've got nearly $1 million. Well, they've probably got over 100 million in now. Yeah, they have. Probably got about 140 million in with Koulibaly leaving. But I think they will accept it. And I think he will be a Man United player. And I think, 1 bid, 2 bid, 3 bids, all of this. They just keep raising it. Same with us with Rice. I know we're going to come to that in a bit. But, it's a game of cat and mouse, man. And if Man United are going to stick it on Chelsea and say, well, take it or leave it, mate. We're cool to go somewhere else. It's not the only midfielder in the league. Not the only midfielder in the world. I think Chelsea crap their pants a little bit and accept it, if that is the case, because they need the money. I think they lost about 200 odd million or something in the last calendar year. So they need to get their books back in order. They're doing that. They're slowly doing that, and he'll be a massive jump up in helping that, because that's what 55 mil. So
yeah, I mean, it's such an interesting one because, as you say, Chelsea now are getting towards 200 million of money raised. I think if the Mount deal goes through, and they have to, I think they need another 40 or 50 before the 1st of July, because then essentially for their 3-year FFP period, they are within the marker of not losing more than 60 million, which then means they can just go out and spend what they want, because you've got time to rectify that over the next 3 years, if that makes sense. So Chelsea, I think the reason that Chelsea haven't bid for Caicedo yet, well, they haven't really gone for any of the big money targets they're looking at, is because they need to wait for this FFP period to pass. I agree with what you said at the start. There's a lot of Man United fans. I'm not personally sold on Mason Mount 100%, but I do trust my manager. And I know you're someone that isn't bought into that ideology of, well, I'm just going to willy-nilly trust my manager. I've got my concerns and my worries, which I'll look at. but I'm not prepared to just moan about it. I'm going to see what he does. I'm going to be objective. I'm going to give him time like I would other signings. But I like the way we're behaving in this. So forget who the player is for. We've said we won't go above 60 million to the press. We're now stating that we're not going to bid in terms of direct guaranteed amounts above 55 million. Even if we don't get him, part of me almost, I like the principle that we're setting, and I like the way we're trying our best to not be dragged over the coals, because Man United for years, we just danced to everybody's tune all the time, whether it was contract renewals of our own players, they're listening to their agents, doing what they say. We had Mino Raiola, God rest his soul, that for like 18 months, 2 years, every window was flaunting Pogba to rival clubs and other European teams willy-nilly. Him and Pogba were always talking about wanting to leave. Man was only 2 years into his...
Bye, Terry. Adios, amigo. Well, there, it's now the League Gunner, Terrace. That'll please you all, wouldn't it? Yeah, but he's right, though.
Oh, there we go. I hit the side button on my mouse and it kicked me out. Yeah, like so we put up with that for so long as Man United fans. From my point of view, I'm happy to see us being a little stronger in the market, putting our foot down with a firm hand and saying no. At the end of the day, Mount's a good player, but he's got 1 year left on his contract. He's refusing to sign a contract with you. You don't want to lose him for free. You first of all, you wanted 80 odd million. There's no way we were paying that. And Chelsea have shown their hand slightly, because every time we bid, they lower their own minimum each time. They say, actually, well, we won't accept that, but we want at least this, and it dropped. They've now said they've dropped their their 58 plus 7. I think a happy medium. I think it'll end up being 55 million guaranteed with 5 million of add-ons. It will total around that 60 million pound mark, and we'll go from there. And we'll assess how good or bad a player he is for Man United. But I'm happy with the way we're behaving, if that makes sense.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, I think he's a good player, man. Yeah, and I don't think he's worth that money. I don't. Like, you've got a year left on your contract. Sorry, you ain't worth 60 million quid, mate. Yeah, it's not like he's Harry Kane that can guarantee you 30 goals a season, is it? Do you know what I mean?
No. And that's why, as I say, my personal opinion is I would have gone for somebody else. I would have put that money into a different deal, a different sign-in.
You could have gone for Maddison.
Yeah,
and put Bruno in the 8 position and put Maddison in the 10.
I would have preferred that personally. I think the only question mark over Maddison, there are some injury concerns that he's had and everything else, but I would have gone for Maddison over Mason Mount. But I'm also prepared to not be screwing and to be angry. I think the difference between you and I on these subjects is you don't trust your manager, and I do. So maybe it's a little bit easier for me to accept kind of what's going on there. Dohi with a super chat says that I'm buzzing. That coward has been holding us back for a decade. The hair he's talking about, I think. The guy is a scared, weak, skinny goalkeeper who doesn't come off his line, turns his back to 1v1s and crosses so he doesn't get hurt. Off you pop, you fairy, is what Doha said here.
That's actually true. He does turn his back a lot on 1v1 and crosses.
He's not great in those environments. Lee Gunner is a Chelsea fan. We don't claim him.
I don't want to be claimed by any of you lot, mate, because your standards on the floor. So yeah, we don't claim him. I get this quite a lot. We don't claim him. I'm not looking to be claimed, mate. It's the same baggage claim. Yeah, my standards are high. Yours are low. That's it. Why would I want to associate with you lot anyway?
And just on that David De Gea thing, it's now been confirmed by Chris Wheeler that David De Gea is behind the club's U-turn on David De Gea's contract after he expressed concerns over him staying as the number one despite the deal being agreed. And this, I will say, it's not a 1-0 Terry, but I will say this. The amount of times I told you this, trust me, watch what David De Gea is going to do. I knew what this guy was going to do, 110%. I could just tell. Sometimes it's just body language. The game after, we made a mistake, the game after the Sevilla game, I don't remember who we played. I'll have to go and check. But all he started doing was kicking the ball long. And 3 or 4 times the camera went to the goalkeeper. Went to Ten Hag, and he was rolling his eyes. He was looking annoyed because it wasn't an action from the manager to say stop doing it short and just go long. De Gea just went, I just can't do it. I'm too scared. And I think that bothers managers more than anything. It bothers them more than anything when you're not even.
He's a coward. He's a coward. 100%. That's what 100%. It is. And the thing is, for somebody who's been in the game so long, for somebody that's won so much, like you'd think he'd have all the confidence in the world. Like, even if he's having a stinker and letting a few dodgy goals in, he'd still think, well, I'm David De Gea. Look at what I've won. Like, it's mad. Maybe it don't help he has Harry Maguire in front of him. Like, you know, when Varane's out injured. So, I don't know. Maybe he's scared to pass it to Harry Maguire.
Yeah, well, but Jordan Pickford's not... Listen, I don't like to defend Maguire too much because I want him gone as well. But he doesn't have those issues when Pickford's passed into him for England. David,
Yeah, true.
Look, true. Maguire made massive mistakes in that goal against Sevilla as well. But that pass should never have come to David. Like, David De Gea's got to use his head. Just because somebody says, pass me the ball, the goalie can see everything that's going on. Don't give it to a man who's being closed down by someone that you know can't turn. But it's because David De Gea can't think quickly in those environments because he's scared. You ever been in a situation where you're a bit under pressure? Your vision starts to go. You're a little bit stressed. That's what he gets in those environments. He ain't good enough anymore. But I'm just quote tweeting that tweet and saying my manager has standards. I love it.
Bear with me 1 sec, mate. Somebody at my door, yeah?
No worries at all. It's okay for United, but not for what Arsenal did with Rice. Oh, look, I've never criticised that. I think what Arsenal are doing with Rice in terms of the way they've bid is absolutely correct, my friend. I think you've done the right thing there, buddy. I really do. To anyone, is anyone going to criticise City? We'll come back to that in a little bit when Lee's here, because we'll save those ones when we get onto that conversation a little bit later in the show. But with David De Gea, as we say, the deal looks like it's moving along nicely. For him to either renew as a number 2 or move on. Mason Mount, we'll see what happens. Obviously, some of the biggest news today, which has caught people off guard, is Bayern Munich and Harry Kane reportedly have agreed on personal terms together. And they've had a bid rejected for him, an official bid made, which has been confirmed by Ornstein and the like. He could, I mean, the Spurs press are all saying, and the London press are all saying that Tottenham will not, under any circumstances, sell. But then at the end of all of their sentences, they write, unless £100 million is bid. So he is for sale at the right price. He's reportedly agreed personal terms. Do you see Harry Kane at Bayern Munich?
Nope. Serial loser. Say it every time we speak about him. Fantastic footballer, fantastic goal scorer, serial loser. He ain't going to Germany. He wants that record. If he had half a winning mentality, like half a brain cell that had winning mentality, he'd be handing a transfer request in and going on strike. Remember last year when he went on the strike, and Daniel Levy said, "Well, we're going to fine you. We're going to fine you." Yeah, well, you're only fining me out of wages that I haven't got yet. So if I was Harry Kane last summer, I'd have been sat at home saying, "Bollocks, I ain't coming back. What are you going to do? Well, you're just going to keep fining me? It's your money anyway, mate. I've already got mine in the bank." If he really wanted to leave, he could have left. Yeah, and this is the thing. It's like he's got 1 year left on his contract, and they've bid 70 million euros. Apparently 70 million, yeah. So I'm looking at that thinking, well, hang on a minute. Mason Mount has got 1 year left in his contract, and they're looking for pretty much the same price in euros, 60 mil. That's how much it is. 60 million quid is 70 million euros. So they pretty much bid the same money you've bid for Mason Mount, there or thereabouts. That's embarrassing, man. Yeah, if Mason Mount's going for that, then Harry Kane's double that. Yeah, and Bayern ain't got the money like that. And Bayern won't get him. The only club there's 2 clubs I could see him going to, Chelsea or Man United. Other than that, he ain't going anywhere. Yeah, and Chelsea don't want him, I don't think. And Man United do, but I don't think you've got the money at the moment. Like, to go and do Mount plus a couple of others plus Harry Kane. I don't see that unless you get the Qataris in real quick.
There's a theory in the Man United fan base, and we're going to get onto some other weird theories later, fan theories. One of them has been trending like crazy today. But if Bayern Munich can get close to an agreement with Tottenham, then I think Man United might get themselves involved. I really do. I think that even if he's agreed terms in principle with Bayern Munich, I think you're right. I still think Harry Kane wants to stay in England. I still think he's desperate for that Premier League record, but I think he wants to win trophies as well. I say watch this space with Man United. I think that the accounts have come out today. There's far more money to spend than anybody expected. We will sell people, and maybe later on in the window, we might have some more answers regarding the takeover. I just hope that he doesn't go. Listen, if he goes Bayern Munich, I will applaud him, because if he goes there, he's taking a big risk going abroad, especially at his age. He's going there to win trophies, and he's going there to try and win the Champions League. New
language. He can barely speak English. But
but the Germans are an intelligent bunch. They speak better. They speak better English than the majority of the English. To be fair,
that's true. But you know what's mad though is if he does go, like I did a video about this earlier on the second channel about Kane, and I said like I still think City would have won the treble if he was in their team last season. Like, and I know I don't think he would have scored as many goals as Haaland, but I think he would have created more. So he would have probably scored about 40 plus maybe in all comps, but he would have created another 15, 20 plus. So I think it would have balanced out about the same. And other players would have chipped in with more goals. And I still think they would have won the league, the Champions League and the Cup. But if he goes to Germany, he's guaranteed a title because no other team in that league can be asked. Even when they finish second, Dortmund, they go, oh, bollocks, we'll sell Jude Bellingham.
Yeah.
Instead of actually matching the ambition.
I think it's all about Champions League with Bayern. It's about dominating the league, and then it's about Champions League. And I think you throw... If Harry Kane was playing for Bayern Munich last season in the Champions League, the game between Bayern Munich and Man City would have been different. They had chances.
Yeah, no way that's a battering.
Especially the game.
Sane was missing sitter after sitter.
Yeah. If Harry Kane's in that team, he's burying some of them chances. And the one thing I say about Kane, I understand why people call him a serial loser. I think if you put him into a club which is built upon success and winning, I believe he will absorb that. The problem Harry Kane has had is he plays for Tottenham and England. Two teams that are synonymous with losing and choking. You need to put him in a club that is synonymous with winning, and I think he'll absorb that into
and has accountability because them Germans don't muck about. They will hold everyone. And look at the way they treated Oliver Kahn and Salihamidzic. Literally sacked on the pitch, and Kahn weren't allowed to the game. They sacked him the day before. He weren't allowed to the final game of the season. These are two club legends. Like proper legends, so like they have accountability at that club, and it's not acceptable just to win the league out there. That's a standard. That's a given. You win the league, we don't care. We win that every year. Now go and win the Champions League, and to have the season that they've had. I know they're still crawled over the line in the end, but that's a wake up call for that football club because they've been slacking a little bit the last 4 or 5 years. To keep. I mean, Muller's been about 33 for about 10 years. Like he's always looked the same age, isn't he? When he was 17, he looked 33.
Check his passport. They do, and they let Lewandowski go. And it was promoting has done a lot better than anybody thought. He had a better career than anybody thought he would have when he was at Stoke.
I know he's played for PSG as well,
mate. He's done bits, but they need an elite goal scorer. You got to remember, he only scored, I think it was 4 or 5 less league goals than Haaland for Tottenham. For Tottenham, you put Harry Kane in that. I mean, he's a better footballer than Haaland. He's better passer, better on the ball, better skill, better first touch. I think Haaland is a better finisher than him. I actually do think he's a better finisher than him. But we've never seen Harry Kane in his pomp in a world-class team surrounded by quality and winners. The only caveat is that Thomas Tuchel's there as manager, and there are big question marks over him. But look, I want Harry Kane to leave Tottenham. Whatever he does this summer, if he can't come to my club, I want him to leave Tottenham because it would be I believe he's a winner at heart. But I believe it would be a sham. It would be a scandal. It would be detrimental to English football heritage if Harry Kane retires from football with not a single winner's medal. And if he stays,
that's his problem, Terry. At the end of the day,
I agree.
Many chances to leave.
But this is what I'm saying. This is why I want him to go. So I want him to go because I want him to. I feel a bit like Harry Kane, how I did about Andy Murray, the tennis player. So my brother used to get every time Andy Murray lost a final, and I think he lost 3 before he won Wimbledon.
He's Scottish.
Before he won the US Open. No, we didn't do that in my house. My house ain't weird like that. We're kind of like, do you know what I mean? I get in trouble online now. The other day, I was like, when Saka played well at the game the other night, I said, I'm so glad Saka's English. I got so much abuse going. He ain't even English, bro. He's Nigerian. I'm like, listen, I'm not opening that can of worms, right? Being who I am. He plays for England. I'm just saying he's English. Of course, I know his heritage is Nigerian, but we all know I'm talking about sport, right? So me and my family are always like that. Anthony Joshua, I know he's got Nigerian heritage, but he boxed for Team GB, British boxer. I'll leave it at that. But for me, my brother bottle job Andy Murray will never win. Andy Murray will never win, never win, never win. And I just said, he's young. Give him time. He will. And then when he won the US Open, then he won Wimbledon, then he won the US Open, then the Olympics, then Wimbledon. He kind of did it in that order. I remember ringing my brother up and I said, now what? And he's like, all right, fair enough. You know? And then he went on to be the world #1 for a while, and then injury kind of sort of ruined him a little bit. I feel that way about Harry Kane. I feel like if he gets himself away from Tottenham, you will see a winner. He'll win trophies. He could maybe even win a Champions League at a club like Bayern Munich. This man is so good. But what I do truly hope for is that my club are playing some games this summer. We have more money than we think, and we go in and take this guy. Because seeing him in a Man United shirt is a dream of mine. I think he's that good a footballer. I think he can transform my football club. I'll be gutted if he goes to Bayern Munich and not Man United. However, this man has got to get out of Tottenham, because that club is a graveyard for all footballers who have ambition of winning trophies, because they don't do it. It's a madness. And James Maddison has agreed personal terms. And again, I'm shocked. I don't understand why James Maddison wants to go to Tottenham over Newcastle, by the way, and never win anything. This man's lifted an FA Cup. He knows what it feels like. He's literally retiring from football if he joins Tottenham. It's mad to me. It's mad.
He could retire now and he'd still win more than Harry Kane. It's actually mad. That football club is a graveyard for people, man. Right? Managers, players, they go there and just die, don't they? Literally just die. Doesn't matter how good they are. Let's go there and win nothing. And then they leave and they go and win stuff. Like, some of their managers have won loads of stuff before they get there, leave and win stuff after they leave. But at Tottenham, they don't win nothing. Yeah, and that tells you all you need to know about that football club. Any footballer with half a brain shouldn't be going to Tottenham. And Harry Kane, I think he'll still be there. And I think he'll leave on a free next summer. But it wouldn't surprise me if he signed a new contract at the same time, because they conned that guy into believing that under Poch, oh my God, we're going places with Poch. How many times did Dele Alli and Harry Kane sign a contract when Poch was there? It was literally every 6 months they were renewing terms. So they've only got themselves to blame. I don't think he's going anywhere, because I don't think United will pay 100-odd mil. I don't think Chelsea will, although they could, but I don't think they will. And Bayern Munich, I don't think have got the money.
Well, a lot of the British press are saying that Spurs have got no desire to sell unless it is 100 million. Personally, I think he's worth that, even with 1 year left on his contract. I think you get a man that will score. If he joined Man United now, what is he, 29? I think he'll play to about 34, 35. He'll score 120 to 150 goals for us. He's more than worth that money. He'll lead the team. And, one of the reasons why, we'll get onto Rice later, I think Rice is so important for Arsenal, is his leadership qualities. And I think Harry Kane has them in an abundance as well. Let's look at some of these super chats here. The ones that are about Leeds, Spurs, and Arsenal we'll come back to a little bit later in the show. Sean here says, if I were... Who is WH?
West Ham.
Okay, we'll come back to this when we get onto that subject later, guys. Thanks for the super chats on the West Ham and Arsenal stuff, but we'll come back to that a little bit later. And the Kai Havertz. I haven't missed anybody's super chats. They're all starred, but I want to try and keep the subject kind of topical in that way. When it comes to Arsenal, though, there's a super chat here that says, well, what's your opinion on Johnny Minerals saying that Kai Havertz will be the new Dennis Bergkamp at Arsenal? Love the show.
Johnny. I like Johnny, but bro, I don't know what happened that day. I have no idea. In no way, shape, or form is that guy going to be anywhere near Bergkamp. The only way I can see any comparison is they're both tall and skinny. That's it. That is it. That Bergkamp was top 5 in Ballon d'Or twice before we signed him. I don't get it. I've seen people comparing him to Van Persie as well. I mean, come on.
Oh, don't. I mean, here's a video
in our top 20. Yeah. I think he's our 15th all-time top goal scorer at Arsenal, and he was injured for most of his Arsenal career. He's got over 100 goals.
This is no, mate. I understand completely. This is a video that you did the other day about Kai Havertz. I'm going to play it for the viewers now. People listen. Make sure you're hitting the like buttons as well. Take a little listen to this.
And the contract this week. Documents are being prepared. Just looking at his face, I want to punch him. just want to punch him. Do not like that geezer at all. Do not rate him. I've seen enough for 3 years of him at Chelsea to know he ain't very good. Yeah, but what do I know? Yeah, if you can't see what Arteta's doing, you can F off down the lane. So,
look, you want to punch him in the face. Bit harsh, isn't it?
Oh, mate, well, listen, there's a lot of people in this chat that want to punch me in the face. It works the other way, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? I don't like Kai Havertz. Yeah, I've seen enough. And I've seen a lot of people, sitting there chatting absolute crap about Salah and De Bruyne. Yeah, oh, he could be what Salah and De Bruyne have come back to be. Yeah, Salah and De Bruyne played 29 times for Chelsea. This guy's played over 130 times in 3 years and stunk out the whole Premier League. But because he scored 1 goal in the Champions League final, then I'm seeing people say that he's going to play in the number 8. Well, good luck with that then, because Zinchenko's inverting and he's playing number 8. And good luck. Yeah, good luck. And then if we get Rice in, right, cool. Let's say we get Rice in. Never injured. He's never injured. Well, neither was Thomas Partey. And I want to say this as well, Terry, right? Why are so many people so excited to get rid of Thomas Partey when they spent all season saying he's better than Casemiro and Rodri? Now they're all gassing up Declan Rice like he's the next Michael Ballack or something, right? So on that basis alone then, now you're hyping up Declan Rice, you're happy to get rid of Thomas Partey. Was you lying then? Was Declan Rice actually better than all of them? Because if you're saying that Declan Rice is better than Partey, but you've said all season Partey's better than Casemiro, what is Rice better than Casemiro then? Like, it makes no sense. Their arguments and their takes are mad. Yeah, but Kai Havertz, mate, nah, not at all. I ain't having that. Not having that at all.
I know you're not.
How many more times do we have to play Chelsea and get stung for a Chelsea player before we actually stop going and taking Chelsea players? William, Jorginho. Declan Rice is never injured. Watch when he gets injured, because he will. Every player that comes to Arsenal will have an injury at some point. He will get injured. We'll be going away to the Allianz Arena against Bayern Munich with Jorginho and Havertz as a double pivot. Yeah, getting rid of Xhaka, who I don't rate that highly anyway. Yeah, and getting rid of Thomas Partey for about 40 million combined and putting Havertz and Rice. That's a mad downgrade, mate. And I like Rice. But Xhaka and Partey, Havertz and Rice, that's a mad downgrade, mate. Mad downgrade.
I wanted to say, Yardie wasn't particularly happy with that video.
I couldn't care less. That guy can't even spell Havertz properly. It's even on the screen. It's even on the screen.
Yeah, that he called you a fool. He called you dumb. Good. He called you a prick. Yeah. It got a lot of gooners not liking that you're not happy about Kai Havertz coming.
I couldn't care less. Not one of these idiots. Yeah, not one of these idiots wanted Kai Havertz until we signed Kai Havertz. Yeah, and as for him, like I said, he says, listen to how dumb he is, he put. And then in the next sentence, he spelled Kai Havertz's name wrong, and it is literally on the screen. And he's telling me I'm dumb. Yeah, stick to trying to make jokes, mate, because you ain't got a clue about Arsenal. Yeah, ain't got a clue. Hasn't got Scooby. Yeah, this is the same guy, by the way. Same guy, by the way, that was Arteta out after Everton. Yeah, just go through his tweets. You can see his tweet. The guy's a muppet. Absolute muppet. He can call me out all he likes.
He was Arteta out.
I'll say it back to him. I'll tell him straight. Yeah, spell Havertz properly, and then we'll have a conversation, innit? It makes no sense. But no, this is the problem, Terry, right? When you sit there, so these people, they've now conned themselves and convinced themselves, yeah, or they're lying to themselves that Kai Havertz is a great player. Oh, he was just misunderstood at Chelsea. That's all. Oh, they're misunderstood. Oh, but nobody played well for Chelsea last season. Okay, well, what about the two before that then? What about the two before that? Right, and then they sit there and go, well, now he's an Arsenal player. We'll back him. Okay, if Scott McTominay signs for Arsenal tomorrow, you backing that as well then? What about Harry Maguire? You backing that as well then? What about Richarlison? You backing that? They chat crap. Yeah, they chat absolute bollocks. And these people, not just him, but millions of people like him that sit there and just gas up everyone, are a massive reason why this football club has not won anything for 3 seasons and not won a title for 19 seasons and not won in Europe for 29 seasons, because they sit there and just, happy days. Right? Yeah, we'll take him. Oh, imagine if we get the Leverkusen version. Well, we've seen for 3 years at Chelsea that you ain't getting the Leverkusen version, mate. I don't know. Maybe in a year's time, we're sitting here with champions, and he's been brilliant.
I hear you on this. This was another take. This was another take on Kai Havertz. Take a little listen and look at this, people.
Has finally signed for Arsenal. This was Kai Havertz when he first signed for Chelsea. Look at him. He was miserable. And this is Kai Havertz now, wearing the Arsenal shirt. I've never seen him smile this much. This is what happens when you sign for the top 3 best clubs in Europe.
Because he's smiling. Are Arsenal one of the top 3 best clubs in Europe, in your opinion, Lee?
No. The top 3 clubs in Europe are, ironically, Chelsea, Bayern Munich and Real Madrid. Only got to look at the last 20 years. They've been the 3 most successful clubs in Europe and in domestic leagues. Yeah, they're the 3 most successful clubs in Europe for the last 20 years. Overall, total trophies and stuff like that. But unfortunately, mate, again, like him, there's millions like that. There's millions like that sit there. Oh, look, he's smiling. That's because the camera guy has told him to smile for the picture, mate. Like, fucking turn it in. Like, honestly, yeah, these people are tapped, mate. Yeah, and then the problem is, right, they hype up everything, gas up everyone, and then they sit there, right? So I'll give an example. When Nicola Pepe signed, right, the hype around Nicola Pepe was mad. Yeah, everyone was happy, gassed, buzzing for Pepe. Now, the same people are sitting there, rip up his contract, get rid of him. We can't get any money for him. Rip it up, rip it up. But you were all hype and gassing it. So why don't you back your man? Why don't you say, actually, we should bring Pepe back? We need cover for Saka. So they don't believe half the crap they're spouting anyway. It's all for traction, especially him anyway. Jesus Christ, mate. Fucking hell. I get sent videos and I tell people, don't send me his rubbish, mate. I ain't interested in listening to it. Like, he said Bergkamp as well. He said Havertz could be better. Like, what? I mean, come on. But then when you get somebody who actually sits there that has seen the club actually be successful and says, yo, actually, why are we accepting this when we could have this? You're negative. Because this is the programmed bot mentality. As soon as you call something against the grain of the bot farm that is the internet, yeah, you get told you're negative. You're negative. Just be positive. How does it affect your life if I'm negative? It makes no sense, right? All you get, you're so toxic. Well, don't watch it then. It's pretty simple, isn't it? It's a pretty simple premise. You don't have to watch it. Yeah, and every single day, it's true. Sorry, I say it all the time. I don't watch EastEnders because I don't like it.
I love it,
It's a
mate.
load of crap.
No, it ain't.
So I don't watch it. Yeah,
honestly, I've got to say, Lee, EastEnders is genuinely one of the best documentaries that's ever been made. It's out of this world good. Leave EastEnders alone.
The last time I watched it was about 3 Christmases ago, and I couldn't believe Kathy's back in it. Phil's still in it. What's her name?
Mate, do you know who's coming back? Do you know who they're bringing? Another one they're bringing back from the dead in a few weeks. Cindy Bill.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah, she's back, bro. Cindy Bill.
They've literally just gone back to the 90s because they've realised their viewing figures are dead because nobody's interested in it.
Mate, that's 110% exactly what it is. And damn, it's fallen off. How do we get it back? Listen, I'm all for the nostalgia. I went to watch The Flash the other day, and right at the end when Christopher Reeve's Superman comes out, spoiler alert, I was in the cinema. By the way, I made a big mistake when I went to the cinema. I went to one of those 4DX things where they squirt water at you and there's air and the seats move. Bruv, it was a 2.5 hour roller coaster. I'm never ever doing it again. I felt so ill. But no, I hear where you're coming from, brother. I really, really do.
No, but the thing is, though, Terry, right, is people convince themselves that if, like, so I'll just quickly go through him. Saka's the best youngster in the world, according to our fan base. Star boy. What a player. He is one of the best wingers in the world. Well, he ain't played Champions League football yet. He ain't played Champions League football. So how are you comparing a player that's never played Champions League football in the highest level to players that have won Champions Leagues? That in itself makes no sense. Right? Then you've got Odegaard, one of the best. Oh, he's one of the best attacking mids in the world. Yeah, you've got Jesus, one of the best players. Oh, brilliant. He's absolutely insane. You go through the whole team. Thomas Partey was better than everyone. Casemiro and Rodri. Yeah, you got Martinelli. Oh, he's a generational talent. You go through the whole team. This fan base hype up every single one of them. But then when we don't win anything, oh, well, you know, it was the VAR, it was the refs. How about start saying it as it is? But unfortunately, too many of our fans have got invested interest in it. They're all trying to make their way as aspiring journalists. Yeah, or trying to get themselves on a red carpet or get themselves a promo deal or get themselves, I don't know, on Sky Sports. Oh, I made my debut on Sky Sports. Shut up, mate. Like, what are you talking about? You've been on there for nothing.
Bro, there's a Man United fan today who's posting and buzzing because he's doing like a video shoot today with Adidas to launch the new Man United kit. In his header on Twitter, it has like "Love United, hate Glazers," #Glazers out. But he's actually promoting the shirts on their behalf today.
That's what I'm saying. They don't believe the crap they're saying, and it's not just Arsenal, Terry. This happens in every fan base.
No, I totally agree with you.
People say to me, "You only get views because you're negative." I'd get a ton more views if I was sucking off everything about this football club.
I hear you on that. I want to go to some of these super chats here. First one says, Terry, as an Arsenal fan, that Arsenal comparing Havertz to Dennis Bergkamp. United fan. Havertz to Dennis Bergkamp is a disgrace and doesn't know what a proper baller is. Big up Lee. Yeah, that is a mad and stupid comparison. There's no doubt about it. Imagine any competent right winger going against a left hand side of Zinchenko and
Oktoberfest
James
Giles.
It's not
That's
going to be
hilarious
for us. This Brit said Chelsea are top 3 over Barca.
Well, they are. Just go and have a look at the last 20 years, mate. Yeah, all the irrelevant waffling you're waffling about. Yeah, it doesn't matter, mate. Trophies are the aim. And Chelsea, Bayern, and Real Madrid have won more in the last 20 years than Barcelona. It's a pretty simple concept, isn't it?
This here says, Lee, you need to do a Havertz and smile, bruv. Havertz will be the signing to end Arteta, is what Guna ER believes he'll be.
This is the thing, yeah. A lot of people are saying he's going to play number 8, and a lot of people are saying he's going to play up front. Well, if he's going to play up front, name me another decent team that will win a title with a shocking striker up front. Yeah, because even when Man City didn't have a striker, Riyad Mahrez bagged 20-odd goals that season. In fact, he scored 20-odd goals for 2 seasons straight. He was their top goal scorer for 2 years in a row. Yeah, Kai Havertz can't score. The geezer's useless. His ball striking is shocking. Yeah, he is absolutely horrible footballer, man.
Yep. This here says, watch Scott McTominay be the player he is for Scotland when he leaves United. Yeah, maybe in a lesser team with more space in the middle, that can definitely happen. If you don't like Lee, why watch him? Arsenal fan base is the most inverted worldwide. He'll be gone by November. Top Gooners can go with him, is what Goonery R says here. We don't claim Arsenal fans with loser mentalities, is what SG said. A lot of support today for a man like Lee.
There you go. Big up to SG, man.
It was someone said it was for Lee. I'm not too sure what that's in reference to now, but thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate that. Lee,
don't you think it's go on.
Lee is a Spurs fan, low standards. Lee is a Chelsea fan, high standards. Which one is it? Inverted Arsenal AFTV fan base is what Gunnar says.
That's the thing. As soon as I start talking about Man City on my other channel, well, why don't you just tiff off to Man City then and go and buy a City shirt? Like, okay, what? Don't you ever talk about other clubs with your friends or like family? Like, then as soon as I speak about Chelsea, you're a Chelsea fan. Why are you hyping up Chelsea? Then as soon as I start screaming and shouting about Arsenal being crap, you're a Spurs fan. Why don't you? It's like, make it make sense, Tel. When anyone says to me, you're a Spurs fan, the instant reply is easy. They're more suited to Spurs than I am because they're happy not winning nothing.
Tim B says, as a Chelsea fan, I cannot believe we got 70 million.
Oh, don't, man. Don't. Yeah, you're telling me there's not a single player on the planet for that much money better than Kai Havertz that we could have signed. Mad, isn't it?
Mate, I hear that. D. Russ says, Lee, you are 100% right about this fan base. So many of them are drones being controlled by the football, which is sad because it helps the club 0%.
0% in winning, but it helps the club do exactly what it set out to do 20 years ago when we moved stadium, mate. Yeah, they wanted to get the globalization of football, lower the standards, get the journalists in the pocket, start paying Ian Wright a load of money to chat crap, Ray Parlour and all of that lot. And then they just cream as much money as they can, peddling out PR to lower the standards and not win anything. They're achieving what they've set out to achieve.
I want to say someone did make something for you this week, though, Lee. So one of my members made the Lee Gunner drinking game. So you have to have a drink. Whenever Lee says this club, knock down the stadium, sack him, get in the bin, Gibraltar guard. When you say this fan base, disgrace, mentions Real Madrid, half a billion, has a cigarette, says good evening, sarcastic voice, says he's crap, has a mad take like Welbeck being better than Salah.
But he is.
Not a serious club, shambles, and the words no standards. It's a league on a drinking game there.
I send that to me. Send that to me. Whoever made that up, big up to them.
Actually, I'll tell you what member it was. I'll give him a shout out here.
Big up to them.
A members WhatsApp group and find, I just don't remember off the top of my head. That was made by, who's that made by? Where's he at? Why can't I see these? I'm so, you know when you're getting older, it takes you so much longer with technology. I'm scrolling back. Right, that was made by Daniel Kelly. So thank you very much for doing that. It means a great deal. This super chat here says, big up legends. You both You are both admired, shortlisted, and targeted by the community for your beloved work ethic. Yeah. Next season, I think the excuse will be this just proves we overachieved last season.
That's a great comment. That is a great comment. Yeah. Can you imagine if we ended up 4th or 5th? Yeah, that just proved we were ahead of schedule and we were overachieving. This is our level. I've seen people this week. Somebody sent me a screenshot of a tweet. And it said, where will Arsenal finish next season? No, what's the bare minimum for Arsenal next season if they sign Rice? Right. So I said to him, send me the actual link. Don't just send me the screenshot. All the comments, just get top 4. Just get top 4. Just get Champions League football again. Like, round and round we go. Yeah, then people are talking about Arteta being linked with PSG. What a load of rubbish. What a load of rubbish. He's never linked with PSG. Yeah, he's then done an interview, apparently, Arteta, saying he'd love to manage in Spain one day. Yeah, I'm sure Cadiz are have you, mate. Or Getafe. Yeah, or Cordoba. Do you know what I mean?
We'll certainly see with that. It's a nice segue, actually.
Edward, man.
It's a real good segue that into the situation regarding Declan Rice. West Ham have rejected today Man City's proposal for Declan Rice. The claim from Fabrizio Romano is because they know. The claim is they know that Arsenal are going to bid more than 90 million in the total package, which is meant to be coming soon. It's a weird week since we last spoke because you said City would come in and that'd be it. It looked like it was going to be City. Then a lot of Arsenal West Ham accounts were saying his preference is still going to be Arsenal. It's about getting the deal done with West Ham. And if he does, a lot of journalists are still saying he'll pick Arsenal over Man City. How do you see this one going, Lee? Because both clubs are in for him now. Both clubs are bidding. Man United are on the edge of it, looking to bid as well. How do you see this one panning out?
Have they bid, though? How do we know this?
Who, Man United?
Because David Ornstein told us. The same David Ornstein who's on the Arsenal payroll indirectly. Like, Terry, I'm telling you right now, I'm 70-30 on whether they've bid. 70% of me thinks, yeah, they do want him and they've bid for him. 30% of me just thinks this is a PR game. Yeah, because we signed Havertz over Real Madrid and Bayern. That Arteta pull. We're going to sign Timber over United. Now, hype up that we're gonna have that big draw with Arteta. He wanted the project of Arteta over the treble winners and the best manager in the world. Come on, man. I've not seen any credible Man City source that said, yeah, we have bid. It's just the same puppet that does the Josh Kroenke interview every summer. David Ornstein.
Mate,
he broke the news.
So you think, but the thing is, the information has come from West Ham sources. Yes, you could say Ornstein isn't just an Arsenal source, but Ben Jacobs, Fabrizio Romano, I think too many media outlets have reported on it. They wouldn't all. They wouldn't.
70% of me thinks they do want him and they are going in for him. Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, sorry, it just don't make sense. So I'll give an example. Right, 5 days ago, David Ornstein tweeted out. What doesn't make sense to me? I'll tell you why. Right? 5 days ago, David Ornstein tweeted out, Man City have inquired about Declan Rice. They are going to make a bid today. That was 5 days ago. His tweet said they're going to make a bid today. That was 5 days ago. It took them 4 days to make a bid. Then we wake up today and it's been rejected. Just like that, rejected. Cool. No worries. I understand why it's rejected. It was the same money we offered. Just a different payment structure. I totally get it. Which, again, to me, doesn't make sense. Why would they bid the same? That makes no sense to me. Why would they bid 5 million more up front as guaranteed and 10 million in add-ons? The add-ons are more achievable. Of course they are, because it's Man City. The add-ons will probably be Champions League and Premier League wins and stuff like that, and appearances or whatever, yeah? But I see a lot of people sitting there saying that Man City, his preference is Arsenal, this and that. Yeah, but like he doesn't want Man City. But then Fabrizio's tweeting out saying, well, he's open to go to Man City.
So let me just interject there for a quick second. So you're right. I've seen a lot of Arsenal accounts misquote the ex-West Ham employee who is legit, who is real. Me and him have been talking privately on things. Whenever I see something trending that's got his name on it, I DM it to him and go, is this accurate? Half the time he says they're embellishing here or twisting. What he stated is that his preference is Arsenal. He didn't state that he only wants Arsenal or only wants to stay in London. He just said the preference is there. But what we all know is clubs do not bid for players who haven't, at the very least, agreed verbally with the personal terms or wouldn't agree to them. This comes down to I think it was Fabrizio also said, and again, Arsenal fans shouldn't ignore this fact as they can end up overly disappointed if it goes wrong. This is down to which team gets over the line first with West Ham. Now, where it can become really interesting is if both teams get bids accepted, because that's also plausible in this. That's when you'll get your absolute answer over who did he want the most. But the fact both clubs are bidding and Man United are on the edge of bidding, there's talk of us putting an official bid in with a player kind of connected to it. I don't think, by the way, we'll bid until somebody else has one that's going to be accepted, and we might try and match it in some way. But yeah, look, I still think Arsenal.
Can I just say one more thing as well? Sorry to cut you off. When Arsenal put a bid in, it's Arsenal have put a bid. A bid. They've actually bid. When Man City put a bid in, it's a proposal. Man City have put a proposal in for 80 plus 10. Why haven't they used the word bid? Why did he use the word bid? This is what I'm saying. Some of the stuff that guy, mate, I'm not having that David Ornstein, mate. Yeah, I'm not having him at all.
Mate, he is too many irregular. You really? I think he's one of the most credible journalists out there. Surely.
No. He gets told what to say by Arsenal Football Club. Terry, he tweets out every time Arsenal sign a player, and they're literally Arsenal are going to drop it. He puts it out 1 minute before Arsenal every time. Right, so he's been told you can put that out 1 minute before us. I'll give another example. Right, when Wenger refereed a game at the Vatican years ago, England were training at London Colney 1 hour before the deadline day window shut. Right, Arsenal's transfer business is finished. 1 hour later, we signed Danny Welbeck. Yeah, Nuri Sahin is signing for Arsenal on loan. Well, that never happened, did it? Mate, I could go through loads of stuff he's got wrong. But what he does is he plays it so perfectly. And then when he gets a big one right, everyone forgets all the shit he's missed. Yeah, and the thing is, what is the difference between a bid and a proposal? Why are you using certain words like bid? And then for Man City, it's a proposal. That doesn't make it sound like they've bid for the player. Whereas with Arsenal, it makes it sound they've bid because he's used the word bid. That's what I'm saying. It's all a game. At the end of the day, the first club that gets a bid accepted, unless the other club comes back in and bids for him and gets it accepted, he's going to the club that's got the money on the table. We see it with Mudryk, we see it with Vlahovic, we see it with Rafinha, we've seen it with loads of players. Emi Buendia, we've seen it with loads of players over the years. At the end of the day, if Arsenal wanted the player, they would have had the player already, if they wanted him that badly. But what they're doing is they're haggling over a couple of quid, like they always do. When we signed Granit Xhaka, we signed him over N'Golo Kante. Even though Xhaka was 3 million quid more for fee, the overall package for wages and agent fee was 3 million quid less for Xhaka, which is why we signed him. Yeah, and we're doing it again. Have we not learned our lesson from the Mudryk deal? Yeah, we've gone in, done all the groundwork, and then let's say City have put the bid in, proposal, whatever you want to call it. Man City have come in, they've seen us show our hand twice. Now they've gone in and matched the bid, just in a different way, a different structure of payment or whatever, yeah? So now they're going to sit back and go, right, we knew that would get rejected. Now let's see how far Arsenal are prepared to go for Rice, because they've got the money. They earn 300 million quid this season.
So do you think in the end, this is going to end up just being a situation where whatever you bid and get accepted, Man City are just going to better it? And
if they want the player, they can get the player. Let's be real with this, right? I've seen people sitting on TalkSport. I see a clip on TalkSport earlier of a geezer sat, I can't remember the guy's name. And he sat there and he went, no, if he should go to Arsenal. Yeah, but, well, I can't remember the exact word he used, but it was something along the lines of it's a weak way out to go to Man City. And I'm like, the aim of football is to win. So you're going to go to a club that's not won the league for 19 years. And the way he was wording it was, imagine he gets them over the line. That would mean more to him. No, it wouldn't, mate. Yeah. Oh, but his aim would be to get into the City team. I hate this notion as well. Why do people sit there gassing up Declan Rice like he's the second coming of Michael Ballack, but then make out he ain't getting in City starting 11? Like, it makes no sense. He gets next to Rodri all day long, twice on Sundays, mate.
Do you know what it is? What the mistake people make, and I watch a lot of TalkSport. I listen to a lot of TalkSport. I watch it on YouTube as well. And I sometimes, the level of the poor quality of punditry sometimes or debate blows my mind, because I think there is merit to suggest that he could be more motivated by joining Arsenal and helping them get over the line and get them to be in a team that starts winning league titles again for the prestige of it. That's true. But it's how they then go and play down going to Man City. The whole we won't get in their team. He'll be a bit blah. He's not really that important. That element of the conversation is nonsense. Two things can be right at the same time. I think he can get into the starting lineup of both teams. I've said it 6 months ago.
He starts next to Rodri every day, every game. Of course he does.
And Stones will go back into the defense, and he starts in midfield next to Rodri, especially if he's £100 million player. That's not
even that, because Grealish was on the bench for a lot. But the thing is, they're going to get rid of Bernardo Silva. Over the course of the one's gone.
Over the course of time, he's going to become a number one player at that club. Same as I told Arsenal fans many, many months ago. If you sign Declan Rice, whether he stays or leaves, he's better than Partey, and he's going to become your captain. He will be getting that armband. I personally do, but that's a by the by. He will take the armband off of Odegaard in the next 2 years as well. He'll become your club's captain. He's that good. So he could be more motivated by going to Arsenal for umpteen reasons. But there's no need in those conversations then to try and play down, it's unimportant to go to City, or it's an easy way out to go to City. It's not. Going to City also has elements that's harder than Arsenal, because the fans there demand a lot more from you game in, game out than Arsenal fans do right now, because they're synonymous with winning in 2023. There's a different type of pressure when going to Man City. Both things can motivate.
This is what the guy said. I can't remember the guy's name. It was a show that he done with Rory Jennings. Yeah, he was doing a show with Rory Jennings, right? And he sat there and he said, but if he goes to Arsenal, there's more pressure on him to do it now. And I was like, what are you waffling about, mate? If you go to Man City, you have to win the league. You have to compete for the Champions League. You have to compete for every cup. If you go to Arsenal, we finish fourth. Nobody cares. Everyone's happy anyway. Champions League football. Right? So what are you talking about? The pressure would be more. No, it ain't. Yeah, and he said if he wants to challenge, he'd go to Arsenal. If he wants to challenge, he'd stay at West Ham and get him in the top 4. Let's be real. Yeah, all of this waffling. At the end of the day, the first team that gets a bid accepted, then has to get that deal done quick before the second team comes back in and matches the offer. Yeah, then and let's be real. If you're Declan Rice right now, and Man City are bidding for you, and Arsenal are bidding for you, unless he's got a loser mentality, you're going Man City. I like Declan Rice. I think he's a top player. I'd love him to be at Arsenal. Yeah, but at the same time, it's a short career. He's 24 years old. Let's say he's got 10 years left, max. Where are you going to guarantee you're going to win trophies? Arsenal or Man City? I'm not being funny. If Man City come in for you, that is on par with Real Madrid coming in for you. Because it's a guarantee of playing for a club that is competing for everything, every season. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Man City and Madrid are light years apart in history, tradition, all of that crap, yeah? Right? But at the same time, them two clubs right now, if they come in for you, it's very, very, very difficult to say no. And I'll tell you what, and if he does say no and he does come to Arsenal, cool, I'll be buzzing. But if he ends up not winning anything, and it is possible, we ain't won a league for 19 years. Mm. Right? If he doesn't win anything, Terry, and Man City keep dominating, yeah, that's going to be like Alan Shearer rejecting Man United to go to Newcastle.
I totally understand that. All I'm sort of stating to people is, him going to Arsenal and helping them to become champions again and make them, that could be a bigger motivator than him joining this brilliant City team and being part of that. We don't know what motivates him 100%. What I don't like hearing is the playing down of either, because he's clearly motivated by both options, because he's verbally agreed personal terms with both, which is why both clubs are bidding. And I just, the poor punditry on it is mad to me. We've got some super chats.
Let's comment here very quickly. Some people like a challenge. Winning on a team that already wins is not that impressive. Well, it is though, isn't it? That's
exactly my point. The first part of what you've just said, I agree with. Some people might be more motivated by the challenge of getting Arsenal back to being league title winners. But saying that winning the league with City isn't impressive, it downplays doing it with City. And I'm defending it because I've had a lot of people say to me, yeah, but some of the Man United legends under Fergie are not that great because they were part of a winning team. They weren't even that integral to the team winning thing. So Scholes weren't that great and Neville weren't that great. So I'm defending that argument now, because if we start allowing that to become precedent and allowing that to become the right way of thinking, you can undo legends of the great clubs of your history gone by.
Facts.
So be very careful what you turn around and agree with in the modern era.
Look at Edu. He's our sporting director. He was a bit part player in the Invincibles. Yeah, he's now our sporting director. Like somebody in the chat said it's harder to keep on winning. Absolute facts. Because if it wasn't harder to keep on winning, my club wouldn't have gone 19 years without winning.
Yeah, I hear you on that. I've got some super chats I want to go to here. The first one says, Lee, Have you watched previous streams and seen Terry's face when you go on a rant? I think you've broken him a few times. No, I
don't watch the streams back. I can't lie, but I see Terry's face sometimes when I'm looking at the screen, like when we're live, and I'm just like.
Sometimes I'm laughing, sometimes I'm annoyed. That's the way it is, my mate.
Nabil kind of chill so far, tell.
As today, Nabil says. Nabil here says, want to see how long person milk Rice to Arsenal. Past 10 shows are mainly about Arsenal transfers. I want Rice to go to Arsenal, but it will be funny if they don't. So, Nabil, I've seen you have a little pop at me. Why am I doing so many shows about Arsenal transfers? Well, the reason why is we cover the top 6. And I don't know if you're aware, but Arsenal are currently in transfer talks with 3 players, and they've put bids in for 3 of them. Who's the third one? Obviously, Kai Havertz, Rice is another one. Timber, where nobody else is doing that. So, of course, you're going to see more Arsenal content when Arsenal were in the midst of 3 major transfers. Man United are looking at one with Mason Mount. Liverpool doing nothing at the moment, so I'm not doing many videos on them. Spurs have done nothing, so there's very few videos on them. And having said that, of our last 20 videos, of them being Arsenal related as the main headline, there's only been 8 of them. So, and they've all been around Rice, because in the last week, I don't know if you're aware, Nabil, and I'm sorry to have a go at you and be disrespectful, but the Rice news is trending daily. Imagine the Football Terrace being the only sports YouTube channel to go, oh, fuck it, we're not going to talk about Rice because Nabil's feelings are hurt. And he bums hurting. I don't know. It's a weird one. If Rice goes to Arsenal and Arsenal goes back to finishing within the top 6, top 8, then my brother won't be able to pay off my BMW. Joke.
Well, that's weird. That doesn't even make sense.
I think that's a dig at me saying I'm not going to earn any more money.
Okay. I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's actually kind of funny now. Now you put it that way.
Cheers, Nabil. Big up, boys. Thoughts on Havertz? It's proven that different managers can get different results out of players once put into different systems. Compares Xhaka and Odegaard starts to the prior season. Once certain pieces were added, he's an upgrade on Vieira.
Well, you're an upgrade on Vieira, bro, because he's trash. But even though Odegaard and Xhaka had good seasons, it ultimately led to nothing, didn't it? The same as the season before when they were both crap. So at the end of the day, I'm just interested in trophies, bro. And we haven't won one for 3 years. So, and then the mad thing is people are gassed about getting rid of Thomas Partey, saying, oh, but Rice and Havertz. It was supposed to be Rice and Partey. It was supposed to be Rice and Partey. Why can't we go and get Rice and Caicedo? I've seen people also sitting there going, yeah, but there's no way Man City are going to go and buy 2 £100 million players this window. Well, their net spend on net.
Oh, of course.
Really real.
Mate, that's the maddest take. That's the maddest copium I've seen. It's 2 players for 200 million. Yes, it's a lot, but that's not even like as much as Man United and Chelsea spent last season in totality. So, of course, they can spend when you've got a squad like City's. You theoretically over the next 4 or 5 years could buy 1 or 2 players every year for 200 million combined, and you're at no risk of anything going wrong with the money they're earning.
They made 300 million this season by winning the treble. Yeah, their net since 2019 is 238. In that time, Arsenal's is 550. Like, it's mad, isn't it? Like, and the thing is, people are trying to convince themselves that Rice. Like, I would absolutely piss myself if he goes Man City. Because then there's going to be a lot of people deleting their tweets and their videos and their Insta posts, and like then they'll probably boo him when he comes to play at the Emirates.
I want to point this out. I know we haven't got a lot of time left, and I want to get through these super chats. I know you got to shoot by 5, but I want to play a video clip in a minute as well.
Yeah, man.
Here says, Lee, I understand that you are not excited about Havertz joining, but once he's put on the Arsenal shirt, would you support him?
Nope. I'm not one of these that goes, oh, well, now he's here, we have to back him. No, show me you're good enough to play for the club. And then we'll get on board.
Because I'll tell you
now, if we signed Harry Maguire and Scott McTominay today, yeah, you, my friend George, would probably not back them either. Yeah, and you say, no, that's a disgrace.
I want to say though, very quickly, I think when he says support, I think what he means is
Arsenal Football Club, not individual
yeah. But I think what he means is, do you want him to do well?
Well, obviously, I want him to do well because I want my club to do well. Yeah, but ultimately, he has to prove he's good enough to play. I'm not just going to sit here and gnaw him off every time he kicks a ball. Yeah, prove that you're good enough, The same as Aaron Ramsdale's proved he's good enough. Because let's not play games here. Not a single Arsenal fan wanted Aaron Ramsdale. We're all sitting there going, do you know what? He's actually a really good goalkeeper. So he's proven himself over the last 2 seasons that he is good enough to play for Arsenal Football Club. Kai Havertz got to do the same. I ain't just willy-nilly backing crap until I see that they can actually perform.
I hear you on that.
I've seen 3 years of Kai Havertz.
This year says, is anyone going to criticize City's low ball bid? No, they shouldn't. Did. Well, you do. Okay, Lee did. Well, at least Lee's being consistent with that. I like that, Lee. Lee, take your fanboys and go to Chelsea, please, is what Arsenal Fever says.
He really don't like me, does he? Why don't you take yours and go down to Barnet, mate? How about
that? This bum hates Arteta because he wouldn't go put down his car window to sign his autograph. Arteta knows a knobhead when he sees one.
Yeah, absolutely nothing to do with the fact that we've won 1 trophy out of 15 available, mate. I mean, it's got nothing to do with that, of course. It's what it is. You losers, man. I find it fine. Mate, the excuses this season coming up, by the way. You are going to see excuse. And I'll tell you, if we sign Declan Rice, which I think we might, I think we've got a good chance of signing him. But if we sign him, that's a lifetime contract for the manager all day long, because this fan base will be like, oh my God, he's beaten treble winners to get this, the pull of our and he will be the most protected player ever to play for this football club. Ever. He could drop stinker after stinker after stinker. He rejected Man City. That's good enough for the fan base. I'm telling you. And I'll tell you, I beg you don't get injured. Yeah, I beg you don't get injured. Because if we sign him and he's injured and we're playing Jorginho and Havertz, mate, good luck.
I hear you on that.
Well, we're going to throw Lavia in against PSG away.
Terry looks like a pit bull with hair. Big up still.
Well, that's not very nice.
I think pit bulls are very good looking dogs, so I'll take that. He talked about trophies since he was 21. He clearly wants to. Everyone that says different is a liar. Just been lied to by consistent times by the board. I agree with Harry Kane. I do think he wants to win. This year says, I'm so happy Arsenal and United are getting our average players, Mount and Havertz. You can't beat Man City with average players.
Facts. You can't beat Man City with Man City ex-players either.
Lee, you think if Edu can't deliver over the line, we should get Ivan Gazidis back?
Nope.
No. I heard Valverde is available. Arsenal should try.
No thanks. No thanks. I watch enough of Real Madrid. That geezer is bang average. Bang average. Did you not watch the World Cup, mate? Did you not watch the World Cup? He was garbage in the World Cup, and he's been even more garbage. Although he has had his best goal scoring season for Madrid this season. But that guy, mate, no. I'd rather have Danny Ceballos.
Man like Premsy, how you doing, bruv? Hope you're well, Premsy. I just realised you were. Hope you're doing well, brother. We've got to get you back on the show soon, brother. I know you're a busy man. It says Havertz still is disgusting. Big up, Gunner. Tell him.
Thanks, bro. Come on. That's how it is. But this is the thing, bro. Everyone just gasses it up because it's an Arteta signing and they're in love with Arteta. That's it.
I agree with something Leah said the other week. One of Mount or Havertz this season, though, is going to be brilliant. One of the two is going to do bits. I just hope it's the one that's in my club. All that passive.
Both will probably flop, and Conor Gallagher have the season of his life.
Yeah. Imagine. All that passive aggression towards Saka, but bending like Beckham when it comes to Tierney, best left back in the world. Make it make sense.
Well,
can I answer this one for you? Can I answer this one?
Go on. Passive aggression towards Saka. I said he ain't the third best in the world.
Lee rates Saka highly. He just doesn't like Arsenal fans overhyping him.
Yeah,
that's essentially what
pretty much. Hey, I'll give you the best example. Getting rid of Thomas Partey, he was crap for the last 8 games of the season. Blah blah blah. He disappeared when we needed him the most. Well, Bukayo Saka's disappeared for the last 8 for 2 seasons straight. So what's the difference? Oh, but he's young and still playing for Arsenal football. I like Saka, but the way they go on about him, it's like he's the prime Ronaldinho. They're going on like he's one of the. I've seen so many people say he was one of when he scored that hat trick. What's a hat trick, by the way? Yeah, that second goal was a joke. The other night.
Someone did for me. Someone sent. I was having a debate a little while back about Rashford being the best winger in the league, right? And I was a bit tongue in cheek on Twitter, you know it is. And I had someone send me all these graphs of what Saka's better than him in all these different areas, and I was like, okay, cool. Someone that follows me saw it and went to the same website and did the graphs on the same statistics. And Garnacho's were ahead of Saka's in a lot of those areas. And I'm like, so by that logic, and that's why stats with eye test are always needed. Barca have 4 Champions League trophies. Chelsea have 2 plus 2 Europa Leagues, is what Sass says here. Again,
now go and have a look at all the other trophies they've won, mate.
So, yeah. Terry trying to give us alcohol poisoning. Well, you don't have to do the drinking game. It's a little bit of fun, but always do it responsibly, of course. Terry's drinking game every time he says 110%. Yeah, I do say that.
What's the other one you say? I get that, mate. I get that.
That's what I say when I'm not really listening, and I just got to move the conversation on.
I know. Yeah. Or you just want to move the topic on because we're running out of time. You go, I hear that.
I hear that. And we move on. Yeah, it's a way of moving on. Lee, please explain how Welbeck is better than Salah. We're not doing this again.
Mate, just go back to the clip that Terry put out.
Yeah,
actually, you spelled his name wrong. So that version is not actually better than Salah. My version is.
I'm a City fan, but love Lee Gunner's content. He should do a show with Big Steve. We did one a few weeks ago on the terrace. We did that.
We did do one. Yeah, we did.
And we've got more people joining these Straight Facts communities. We've got some big shows coming. Arsenal promote Makeup Foundation with James Charles. I don't know who James Charles is. Oh, I do know who James Charles is. I just realized now.
Havertz looks identical.
Jeez, I just realized who that is. Lee will Arteta finally rotate players next season? Even William was overplayed. Never mind, never being in form. Or Saka play every game.
He won't. Saka will play another 70 games. Yeah, he won't rotate enough for us to win anything, mate.
This here says Rice should stay at West Ham and challenge to win the league. Yeah, that ain't happening. West Ham, no disrespect. Elite here says you guys keep saying guaranteed trophies. Pep is probably here for 2 more years. After that, there's no guarantee. With Arteta, there is longevity.
Yeah, that's because our fan base have got no standards.
Listen.
If Arteta's here for the next 5 years and wins nothing, they'd still be in love with him to keep him here. People have got this idea that he's the next Wenger. No, Wenger actually won the double after 18 months of being in the country against the greatest manager I've ever seen.
I'll second that. Terry, I'm just joking most of the time. Got massive respect for everyone. Much love. Keep doing the great. I know you're only joking. And so my humor's just dry. I'm the kind of person that when I make jokes against people, they often think I don't like them. When I used to be at work, I'm a first impressions guy at work. Everyone was like, first time I met you, I didn't like you. Now I think you're great. I'm like, yeah, it's just the way I am. It's the way I come across, I suppose. But there we go. Can Lee explain how he thinks Welbeck? Okay, put that come in there again. Go back and watch that clip. But he just thinks technically as a footballer, Welbeck is better.
He is better.
In all honesty, Lee doesn't make sense most of the time. He is not delusional. Doesn't make sense most of the time. He's not delusional like Arsenal fans. Arsenal do hype up random players, is what Nabil says.
That makes perfect sense, bro. Yeah, the aim of sport is to win. There you go. Take a shot. And the aim of the sport is to win. And we haven't won the league for 19 years.
But that's a vegetable smoothie, though, not alcohol. People.
That looks disgusting. I can't lie.
Man, I'm trying to get back in shape, man. A year of not doing now. This is just speculation, but I believe Rice would choose Arsenal because I think him and Saka are good friends.
Okay, on that basis, is he not friends with Kyle Walker, Calvin Phillips, John Stones, Phil Foden, or Jack Grealish?
His best mate is going Man United. We got a chance, according to AD. Squad rotation versus Arteta. Remember, Willian not getting rotated will happen. What will happen to Havertz? Yeah, rotation is going to be key next year for Arteta and his team. What's Lee Gunner's channel called? Lee Gunner. It's called Lee Gunner. Just follow Lee Gunner. You'll see him there.
Go to Lee Reacts as well. So it's on about 16K. Big up to all of you. Lee Reacts. I don't talk about Arsenal on there, so I'm more happy.
Yeah. I met Saka at the airport in Lagos, Nigeria, by the way. Nice.
No way.
I may not agree with everything you say, Lee, but I respect you. Was introduced to you on AFTV.
Big up, Mark. Come on.
There we go.
Thank you, mate.
And don't forget, Terry loves to hear loves a year.
Here in 2023. Yeah, here in 2023.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, I do say that a lot. I do say that. I got a clip to play though, just before the end. I want to play out. This is on the Arsenal Rice situation. Maddest clip of the day. Take a listen, people.
There's a lot of cat and mouse going on here. As a sporting director, I used to do this a lot. So I used to call up a big club, and say, right, can you put in a bid in? And that would get my owner to basically put a higher bidding. It's a bit like an auction, isn't it? I don't think Manchester City actually want to sign Declan Rice. I think what's going on here is Arteta's picked up the phone to Pep, said, listen, you know, Arsenal are going to do the sort of incremental bid approach. If you put a higher bid in, that will push my owner to I think there's a bit of that going on here.
What, for speed then? They just want it to happen quicker?
Well, for speed, but to get the deal done. Because, you know, West Ham obviously want a certain valuation. I think I read 120 million.
Arsenal just go and pay it then?
Well, this is the thing. I don't know why Arsenal are doing this incremental approach, but it says to me that Man City coming in sort of later on, it feels like they're trying to, you know, it's going to help Arsenal. Because the fans are going to get on it now and say, hold on a second, Declan Rice.
So it's almost like this will put pressure on the owners and Edu to go and get the deal done.
She's waffling. She is waffling,
I mean,
mate.
Where was she a sporting director?
I have no idea. I used to do this when I was a sporting director. What a barnet. So she's blatantly sitting there saying that she would phone up other clubs to ask them to put a bid in. Listen, I know there's some shadiness that happens in football, Terry, but that's wild. Yeah, what you think that Pep's going to phone up his gaffer and say, yo, do us a favour because my mate Mikel needs a favour, mate. Yeah, they're bidding for, can we put a bid in for Rice? Like, come on, get out of here, man. She's waffling.
I honestly, I'm confused by it. And I'm just trying to find out now where she
Someone in the chat said I said the same thing. I never said the same thing. I said it wouldn't surprise me if David Ornstein put it out there that they put a bid in when they haven't put a bid in. She's saying that we've asked Pep to put a bid in.
Yeah, I get it from a point of view of you might put a little, you know, a sporting director might contact a journalist and either say, can you lie, or might turn around and say, look, I've been told that City have now put a bid in to kind of speed things up. But I just don't understand, and this is not a dig at her. It's just trying to understand the fact that who would do that? Why would Man City do anything that is going to make Arsenal better? If anything, they should want Arsenal to not get Declan Rice at all. I don't see. That's what I would love to. Maybe they did later on in the show, but that is what I would have loved to have asked her. And does anybody know where she was a sporting?
She was at Aston Villa
as a sporting director.
Right. So she was at. It must have been the women's team, I'd imagine. Yeah. But apparently, right now, she, the former England, Chelsea, and Juve forward Aluko was appointed as sporting director of Angel City in May 2021 after doing the same job with Aston Villa. Okay,
so yeah, Angel City. I think that's a female team in LA, I believe. But yeah, look, maybe I'd love to ask her more. But I honestly, when I say I don't believe her, it's just I do not believe for a single set. Maybe she did it in her way. I'm not saying she's lying about what she did because that's her thing. There is no way Premier League managers phone each other up when they're rivals now for titles and say, "Yo, can you help me get a player?" They don't do that. I'm sure they don't. You know,
it makes no sense.
And equally, if what she's saying is true, then Arsenal fans should be fuming because it basically means again your manager saying, "Can we bid?" and the owners and the board are going, "No,
exactly.
We're not going to bother." I don't know, man. That's a mad one for me. That's a mad one for me. Yeah, that is a crazy one for me, personally. This here says, "What outrageous take from Lee have I missed so far?" None really. I don't think. Someone here says you don't know that, Terry. Yeah, and I'm not stating it as a fact. Again, no disrespect. 3 times dope. It's called an opinion. In my personal opinion. Unless clubs come out and tell me I'm wrong, or journalists say no, they do, that like are in the know and they know people, or agents come out and confirm it, I do not believe. I'm not saying it doesn't happen anywhere in football. I'm stating there's no way, like Man United today would phone up Liverpool and say, "Yo, can you bid for Mount as well, so that the Glazers
can speed up the Glazers?"
Yeah, there's no way Ten Hag is going to phone up Klopp and say, "Yo, can you bid for Mount?" And they don't want him anymore, but my owners won't give me an extra 5 million. I need you to bid.
Can you imagine if she's saying what she's saying? Let's say what she's saying is true. Yeah, let's just assume it's true. Imagine if Man City got the bid accepted.
Yeah, it just no. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe listen, it's pressure being on it. Maybe she got the example a little wrong. But yeah, I heard that and just thought, oh no. I just don't believe anybody would personally do that. Lee, you and Robbie should sit and talk, is what Samuel says here.
Mate, you're as much in cuckoo land as any Aluko.
Apologies, I meant to say Lee does make sense. Okay, I hear what you're saying.
Oh, thank you. Cheers.
Looks like a B-Tech Edward from Twilight.
I can see that as well, yeah.
I get where you're coming from. Little, he's Batman now as well, isn't he? Old
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah,
But
on
I actually liked it. I like DC when it's like that, dark and ominous and not full of joy. Listen, viewers, I want to say a big thank you.
TalkSport have deleted the clip. They've deleted the clip. Somebody's. Strasbourg Steve texted me that earlier, actually. Yeah, and I looked and it was still there, but now George is saying the same. Apparently they've deleted the clip.
Well, I downloaded it, so I got it.
So have loads of others.
Got it for life. It just listen. I didn't watch the rest of the show, so you don't know what comes after it, but. Like, I would just challenge them, break that down for me. Who and why would they do it? And
that's though. Why don't they just bid the money? He's class. Him and Simon Jordan, the only ones worth listening to on that channel, mate. They're quality.
Yeah. Listen, everyone who's tuned in, I want to say thank you. Please hit the like and the share button before you go. Lee, always a pleasure to speak football with you.
And you, mate.
Back later on tonight with more content. Big Steve on the show with me tomorrow as well. So looking forward to that. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye-bye.